Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Richard Wilmore.
Welcome everyone to Make Your Day Richer. Thanks for being here. It's Wednesday and my guest is an incredible chef, an accomplished author, and a man who is truly pouring his life experience onto the page and his plates. He grew up with a passion for food, learning to cook at his grandmother's side since he was 6, but his path took him through music and fashion, interning at places like Def Jam Records before he finally realized his true calling. Now he's sharing his heart and soul in the world in his amazing new cookbook, Soul in the City. It's more than just a cookbook, it's an inspiring story of finding purpose, legacy, and health. Please welcome my new friend, Shef Shaun Williams. Hit it, Big Infinite.
Make your day richer than it was before. Got some good times knocking upon your front door.
Well, Sean, thanks for coming over.
All right, of course.
You brought me a gift. Should I open it now or later?
Sure, you can open it now.
Okay, I think this is my first gift.
It's my horrible wrapping job.
It's all right. I hope it's a book. Yes. This is why you're here. I love this.
Yes, of course.
Well, this is one of the reasons why you're here. Thank you for this. Soul in the City.
Yeah.
How do you feel that this isn't even in your only book, but how do you feel as a published author?
Well, it feels accomplished.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was just something that I've been wanting to do for a long time.
Mm.
And it was one of those things that was on the back burner for a couple of years. And I finally buckled down and got it done. And so to see a physical book is just amazing.
What was that like the first time you had it in your hand?
It was like, my friend and I talk about those I did it moments, like when you were a child and you finally tied your shoes or you finally did something for the first time and it was like, I did it.
Yeah.
It was that type of feeling of, oh my God, it's actually a real thing. Because I'm so used to doing projects, coming from doing marketing and PR and fashion shows and ad campaigns and all of this stuff. I've always been producing, but it's been for someone else. And so to produce something for myself was just awesome.
And you've been really cooking since you were 6, right?
6 years old, yeah. And so cooking has just been a part of my life, a part of everyone. Well, not the cooking aspect of it, but food in general has been a part of every celebration that we have, from our, baby shower to our homegoing.
Yeah.
Food is a part of everything, and it's a part of our everyday life. But for me, cooking at 6 years old, I remember my aunt and uncle taught me how to do scrambled eggs for the first time. And, being the first grandchild, I was always in the kitchen with one of my grandmothers. And so they were always cooking. And so I was always privy to being in the kitchen, tasting the cake batter before eggs were a thing. And you know what I mean? Like tasting the cookie dough and stuff like that. So it's just always been there. And I never would have thought that I would make a career in culinary, because it wasn't really something I thought of making money from, but it was always a part of my heart. And so pouring my heart and soul into the food that I make is part of why it's called Soul in the City.
What did you want to be when you were a kid, when you grew up, if you didn't think that you'd be able to make money from this? What was your plan B?
I don't know. I mean, listen, I just follow what God wants me to do, because I really, at that time, didn't know what I wanted to do. By the time I was graduating high school, I wanted to be a recording artist. So I went to school for record engineering and learning how to work the soundboard and how to, do music and all of those things. But while I was there, I was actually interning for Def Jam Records at the time, Russell Simmons. And because my cousin worked there, and then transitioned over to Fat Fashions, which was at the time just Fat Farm, just the clothing brand. And so while I'm in school for music, I'm interning in promotions and then marketing and PR. And so then my world went that way. And so I did record, but I never became this successful recording artist. But I have music and I have a passion for it. It became a really creative pastime. But anyway, throughout that whole transition, I was an intern for Fat Farm, and then we grew that brand. I went from an intern to a marketing assistant to a marketing manager. So still cooking, but just not on a grand scale like that. But again, even through all of that, food was always a part of everything that we did, from the the galas that we did to the different, meet and greets for the press that we did and all of that type of stuff. Food was always a big part of what we were doing. So even though in that aspect I wasn't cooking, we were still making the decisions on what the menu looks like and, what that experience is going to be.
That's so fascinating. I feel like you should have a TV show. Your life should be a TV show. Like it's been so many different things and so many
Yeah.
different like it's so interesting.
Yeah, that's funny. I mean, I, my 20s were a whirlwind, and I
Mhm.
tell people I don't even remember those years because I just was so busy doing the work.
Yeah.
I say keep your head down and do the work. That's what I was doing. So I really wasn't so focused on, oh, well, look at me. I'm so great and fabulous. I work for these celebrities and I do all of this stuff.
Mhm.
I never even thought about it like that. And so until I tell the story of what my journey looks like, then I'm like, oh yeah, I did do that. And I
Yeah.
was a part of this and all
Are
of
you
those
ever
things.
do you think you're gonna write that story?
I may,
Yeah.
and you know why? Because I think a part of sharing the journey is, paying it forward in a way where what I just heard this past weekend in a wonderful conference that we had was as my job in the present, my job is to bridge the past and the future. And so by telling my story of what happened in my past, that will, hopefully
Mhm.
inspire the future generations to see what I did great, what I did not do so great, and how to kind of pivot from either my mistakes or my wins.
Yeah.
Mm,
Well, you're in the Charlotte area, as are
yeah,
we. And
yeah.
so when you're ready to make that into a movie, TV show, we know lots of people in this area who can help.
Yes,
Just
absolutely.
saying, we'll have a whole thing. With the holidays coming up, is this a good book for everybody that should be on their shelves, right?
Yes, yes, it's a good book for that.
What are they going to find in there?
They are going to find some of my favorite recipes from my transition. Really, I didn't get into the real southern roots of
Oh,
my
yummy.
journey, but I did get into some real tasty things that I love to acquire throughout my years.
What's your favorite thing to make if you have like a go-to? And I'm also curious, like if cooking is your job, it's like
Mhm,
your art
mm,
form,
mhm.
but it's your job. Do you love to then go home and cook, or how does that work in your brain?
Yeah, I always love to do test kitchen stuff. I always love to work on new recipes. Um, So like yesterday, for example, I worked with my personal chef client and she always challenges me with different things. And yesterday she wanted a roasted red pepper and smoked Gouda soup. And so it was the first time I did that. And it was really delicious. It was super easy to do. I like soups, but I think any kind of comfort food is always my favorite thing to
Mm-hmm.
make.
Mm-hmm.
Any kind of baked mac and cheese or any kind of pasta dish, really. I mean, because that then you're getting a little bit into Italian, which I kind of feel is still very comfort food,
Mm-hmm.
especially Southern Italian food.
Mm-hmm.
So any type of things like that, if it's protein, it's like a roast pork shoulder or pot roast, especially around this time of the year. I love everything that is low and slow, things
Yeah.
that cook all day and just make your home feel like or
Mm-hmm.
smell like home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that you are still learning new recipes and always exploring that it's
Yeah.
not just like, well, here are my 10 things that I do. Well, probably more
No.
than that, but like that you're still taking it all in and still learning and still exploring that's really
Yeah.
cool.
I mean, I think as a chef, as a good one, you're always constantly just like fashion, looking for what is the next trend, what is modern right now, where are everybody going? You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And
Mm-hmm.
I think with anything you do, you should always be have your ear to the streets, if as they say, and just know what's going on. And so that how do you stay sharp?
Mm-hmm.
Because even if you use you can have the best set of knives, but they have to be sharpened periodically
Yeah.
because they will get dull. And I think that's the same with anything you do, from being a chef to anything.
I hate cooking, which is why I wanted you to come on here.
Yeah.
And next time I want you to do like a cooking segment so I
Yes,
can
next
learn something
time. Yes.
because I don't like doing it. It causes me so much stress.
Yeah. A lot of
Like
people.
I don't know, understand. Like I need all the ingredients laid out, and then I have to put them away as I use them and then I end up. I did start water on fire once
Oh my
on Thanksgiving. So there's that. With Thanksgiving, the holidays coming up, Christmas, all of that. What are some recipes in here that people can get?
God. I think in there my classic pot roast is wonderful.
Mm,
I have a, sweet potato recipe that's in there. I have one that's not in there, which is a savory sweet potato, which I think it may be. I don't know. I've been doing
We'll
so
look
many
during the break.
things. Yes, you got to get the book and see what's in
Yeah.
there. Because I surprise myself sometime when I go back and look like, oh
Like,
my
I should
God,
put that in
did
a
put
book.
this
Wait,
in
I did
there.
already. Yeah.
Right. And so, no, I mean, there's some fabulous, comforting recipes in there, and then some that are quick and easy. I like to kind of just give you guys a well-rounded idea. And the funny story about that book was going to be an ebook.
Mm.
But when I self-published, I realized, when I got to that point of making it an ebook, it was like, oh, well, if you make it 72 pages at least, then it can be a physical copy. And so I'm all about keepsakes, and I love physical, tangible copies of things. So I had to go back and create at least another 40 recipes to make that deadline. And mind you, once I had did that, I already had it on pre-sale. So I gave myself 2 weeks to come up with 40 recipes. So every day it was at least 2 to 3, and then editing and all of this, because I did it all myself.
Wow.
So it was a task, but you know what?
But you did it.
Yeah, but
Soul
I
in
did
the
it.
City is here. Where can people get the book?
It is
Cookbook.
available on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
And here locally, it is in Park Road Books, and that's in the Park Road Shopping Center in Charlotte here.
Okay.
And it will be in a few more coming up.
Yeah.
But for right now, Amazon was my major target until I got situated and wanted to see, what the local bookstore environment looked like and who I can start to make relationships with and all of that good stuff.
And support your local bookstore.
Yes, please. We need them.
Yes.
And just as an aside, Park Road Books is one of those wonderful stores where it's like, it reminds me of Friends. I don't know how, because it's not like a, bistro or anything, but it's like you go in, they have the comfortable sofas, you that old smell of old books, and it just has that atmosphere of, oh wow, I've always loved that. I always loved libraries, bookshops, all that type of stuff.
I used to work at Borders. You remember Borders?
Yes.
I worked there for like a decade.
I was so annoyed because I had just got my Borders card, my membership
your
card.
Red card, whatever.
Yes.
The rewards, Borders rewards.
And like within 6 months, they got the news that they were closing down. And I was like, isn't this something?
I know.
Yeah. But it was the digital age. They took away so many things.
Do you want to know something? That Borders didn't have a website until 2012, maybe? And before, if you went to borders.com, it auto-directed to Amazon.
See, Amazon.
So Borders is the reason I say that Amazon is successful.
Yeah.
But then Borders went away because they weren't smart enough. There's a lot happening at that organization.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's sometimes when you're inside and you see the things and you're screaming to the ceiling, and it's like, they're like, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, okay. All right.
I'm here every day, but
right.
yeah, sure.
All right.
Sure.
You know better than me.
Yes. Speaking of other books and ebooks,
yes.
Beyond 12 Steps is your newest book, right?
Yeah.
Tell everybody about that book.
Okay, so Beyond the 12 Steps was very inspired by my 3rd year of sobriety. And August 12th, every year I put it out.
It's my birthday.
Oh, really? So happy belated. And so now that's another reason to remember that's a special day. Yes. Look at that. But every anniversary, I re-put it out there and just say, hey, celebrating another year of sobriety and God taking the taste out of my mouth, and just being thankful and grateful for the new chapters that I have in my book of life now. And so this year, people were asking, well, how did you do it? And what is your secret? And all those type of things. And I said, well, instead of trying to answer all of these hundreds of people individually, let me come up with a nice, quick ebook that could be either a reference point to people and an inspiration of what it is somebody else did to, make that transition.
Yeah.
Because, in my history, I had parents that were really struggling with alcoholism. But also in my industry, fashion entertainment, that was just a part of everything you did, from lunch meetings to, after work, where you have the happy hours and all of these things, the after parties, alcohol was always there. And so it can become something that is a vice for you. And especially when you're predisposed to having that issue. So, I decided to come out with that book and, again, hopefully pay it forward. Again, be that bridge from right now to what's going on in the past and hopefully what's going on in the future.
how did it feel to put all of that together, to kind of relive some of that, to go back and was it therapeutic? Was it hard? What was that like?
It's therapeutic, I think. I think that, I'm at a point in my life where I'm not ashamed of anything that I've done because, I wasn't a horrible person where I was doing certain things, but it still was, when you reflect, you think you're not hurting anybody because you're
Mhm.
like, I'm just minding my business, but
Mhm.
you don't realize how many people you're hurting by not being a part of things, by being so distant in a lot of ways and not really showing up effectively as you would if you didn't have that issue. So to me, when I look back on those years, it is like, oh, let me share this too. Let me
Yeah.
make sure people know this, because there are a lot of ways where alcoholism can hide, and
Mhm.
it can lie to you and make you feel like, oh no, but you're successful, your money's still good, your credit score is looking good, and you have this, and you're all. But what you don't understand is there is, instability somewhere else in your life,
Yeah.
be it emotionally, be it, socially. It's something that's off, and it's something that you're not in control of. So, um, just being able to share that. And what's going to happen eventually with it is that I'm going to expand on what the ebook is and make a physical copy in 2026.
Mhm.
But for right now, just because I knew that the holidays were coming and I wanted to give people at least a framework of what that
Yeah.
looks like and allow them to fill it in as they go. That was the real purpose of doing it. And so it was really therapeutic, but also I feel purpose behind it.
Mm.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Well, we've gone through what people can eat during the holidays.
Hmm.
I want to talk about. I feel it feels like holidays are a time where you're supposed to be drinking, and then people
Hmm.
look at you and go, "How come you're not having a drink?" And it it's probably hard for a lot of people to be sober or not drink during the
Oh
holidays.
yeah.
So, can you talk a little bit about that, or maybe some tips or something that you've learned
Yeah.
while we're coming up on all of this?
Yeah, I mean, it was really my relationship with our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ that did it for me, I will say, because it the world is really, when you think about it, it is inundated with, advertising for alcohol and
Hmm.
different things, especially around the holidays. As we look, you'll see a beer commercial. We all look forward to what Budweiser is going
Yeah.
to do for
Yeah.
the
The Super Bowl.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think on a personal level, what it was for me was just understanding what I was doing it for, remembering how bad it felt to stop, because you do go through a withdrawal, and your body is so used to having a certain
Hmm.
chemical for so long that your brain gets used to it. And so where that chemical, whatever that is that you guys use, where that chemical is introduced to your brain chemistry changes. So now if it's serotonin, for example, your brain isn't making as much because it's used to the chemical you know replacing what it naturally makes.
Hmm.
So there's a period of time where you don't feel too good about it. And so remembering that withdrawal feeling and not wanting to go back there, and just knowing that, what, as my life progressively got better and I felt better and waking up feeling more energetic and not feeling like I had these shackles on me anymore, was very much a part of what, encouraged me to keep going. And then when I was let me see. My sobriety date was August 12th. Like I said, during that time, we were gearing up for the holidays. And so for me, you can make whatever, whatever kind of goal in your mind that you need to get through those times. So
Hmm.
for me, it was the chips. And you would get a chip every month. And so I'm like, I need my next chip, or, whatever. And so also being 100% transparent with my AA um, I'm going to say cohorts, but my team, I couldn't show up to them and lie
Hmm.
and still be drinking and sitting in this meeting and going through the serenity prayer and sharing this story, and these people are pouring out their hearts and soul to you, and you don't want to be a fraud
Yeah.
with that. I mean, because now you're looking like, okay, somebody is relying on me, somebody is, looking at me to tell the truth and be 100% honest, and so I would never do that. And so for me, just saying that to say, if you have to go to AA meetings, it's important. If you have a um, a support system. You know, your family would be there, but sometimes they cannot understand alcoholism because they haven't had to deal with it. So, you know, you have a sponsor, you have a support team with your other AA members. If you have a church home like me, you know, you have people around you that don't drink.
Yeah.
So then you have that retreat. You know, what I would suggest to people is not putting yourselves in a position where you're going to be tempted. So if you know this particular party is going to be all about the drinks, maybe go, say hey, and leave. If you think the temptation would be too much, just don't go at all.
Yeah.
I know that it could be hard to people, but again, it's a small sacrifice for a life that is going to be more rewarding than you can ever imagine, if that makes sense.
And I assume, maybe I'm wrong, but if your friends are also, or your family, whomever, if they're putting pressure on you to do those things, you probably want to check into that relationship as well to see if it's a real relationship.
Right. And to see if it's not, one of those relationships where it's, you know, unbalanced or unequally yoked, as we would say. Because there are some people who, and I've heard this from a lot of different people, and I think for me it was easier because everyone who I would have been, you know, drinking or doing anything with was back in New York. And so here, that I didn't have that. So I had more of a support system. I had my godmother and godbrother who were very supportive, and, you know, the extended family on that side. And then my, you know, again, the AA team, and then everyone else around who just were not in that way. So I had a whole lot of environments where alcohol wasn't a part of it. So that for me, that was great. But if you are in a position where you have to remove yourself, you know, and especially if you are really adamant about being sober and you have people that are really trying to stifle your growth in that way, then you may, like you said, need to look at those relationships and see if it's something that you should sever.
Yeah. Well, you have a standing invitation to come here every August 12th, so we have a big celebration every year for both of us. What do you love most about your life right now?
I love being able to show up for people. I love, you know, right now I'm co-leading my culinary department for my church. You know, as a personal chef, I get to show up for my clients on that way. As a caterer, I get to help people create these wonderful experiences, because I think it's more than just food. Food is a part of this major experience that we want to do. And so for me, my new, I guess, foundational pillars right now are food, fun, and fellowship. And as we go into, you know, creating a good atmosphere with the food, you know, the food is kind of the neutralizer. You know, food is one of the things that we've been having conversations about, where we could disagree about how good bagels are or how bad they are, and we don't hate each other after that conversation. It's just, all right, you like bagels and I don't. But, you know, it's one of those things where people kind of are not so on guard, and it's not one of those triggering things that, you know, once you have a good plate of food with you, you know, you have some fun music going on, and then the fellowship continues, and you just don't know what kind of magic can come from that.
Well, until I tell people that I'm vegan, and then they're like, oh, I can't eat anything you have. I'm like, okay. But that's a different story. What's the best way that people can connect with you out there in the world?
My website, which is chefshauns.kitchen.com.
Before we leave today, will you play a game with me?
Oh, it depends on what kind of game.
It's called Holiday Table Toss-Up.
Okay.
Okay. And usually on this show, I'm the one that leads it, but I'm going to make you lead it. Okay? It's very easy. And if I get 3 out of 5, our entire non-existent studio audience gets a copy of Soul in the City. So all these people are clapping.
I know. I hear you. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I haven't looked.
Okay.
I'm not going to look. You're going to look. I'm not going to.
Okay.
There's a list of holiday foods, correct, on that list?
Oh, yes.
You have to get me to guess them. You have to describe each one.
Okay.
Get me to guess them. And I have to guess 3 correct
out
of 5.
All right. So
ready?
Number 1. Yes, I am ready. Number 1 usually has dried onions on top of it.
Okay.
I don't want to say the color because I think that'll give it away too much. And it usually, the Southern people give those a lot.
Green bean casserole.
Yes.
Okay. 1 down.
Okay. The second one sometimes can be an afterthought, but it's really great that you put on your plate so that when you have some of that rich gravy, you can put it into your gravy.
A roll?
Yes.
Okay.
Dinner roll.
Yes. That's a staple for me. That is not an afterthought.
Yes, of course,
Yeah.
me too. But some people
Yeah.
are like, "Oh my God, I forgot my
No,
role."
no, that's where I start.
Yeah. This is fun. I think I can get him to get all 10. But number 3, it is the cousin of sweet potato pie.
Apple pie?
No.
A cousin of a sweet potato.
Not a cousin. I would call it a twin sister.
Of a sweet potato pie.
If you think about how sweet potato pie looks, very orange.
Pumpkin pie.
Yes.
Yes, we did it. We did it. Everybody gets a copy of Soul in the City, and you can at home too by going on Amazon.
Yes.
And pre-order Beyond the 12 Steps, Embracing a Fulfilling Sober Life. Shaun, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yes,
I appreciate it.
of course. And thanks for everything you're doing for the cooking world, for the sobriety world.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Of course.
I really do.
I just hope they do too.
Yes, they do. I'm telling you, they do. We're going to take a break and be right back after this. Don't go away. I believe in the power of learning, and so does Smart Deal Academy. This incredible nonprofit serving the greater Charlotte area is changing lives through personalized tutoring, homeschool teaching, and enrichment classes for students of all ages. From pre-K phonics to private music and Spanish lessons, Smart Deal creates a safe, joyful space where kids grow in confidence and curiosity. This work only happens because of generous donations from those who believe every student deserves a chance to thrive. Every dollar fuels one-on-one support, creative programming, and the kind of encouragement that sticks with a child for life. Be a part of that impact by visiting smartdeal.com and make a tax-deductible donation today. Let's build a brighter future together. Welcome back, everyone. That's our show. Hey, there's a new episode of Before You Go out right now. Next week is the last episode of season 3, so make sure you check that out. You can find out all about Abode and everything they're doing there in San Antonio at abodehome.org. Take a look at this week's episode.
How have the creative arts helped you shape your relationship with your own mortality?
I think the jewelry has probably helped me with that more than anything, because when I'm working with the bones, it is very present and clear to me that in order for me to create, something had to die. And I try to be very respectful of the animals that I work with. And it's not that I'm having a conversation with them, but I do try to be very reverent and never callous about it. Even if it's something that I've picked up off the road, that's still a beautiful creature that existed. And I think learning to deal with those animals and being so careful about them has also made me be more careful about myself and think about the fact that I could go at any time.
And if you need help with your podcast, send me an email at makeyourdayricher@gmail.com. We can get you hooked up. On tomorrow's show, Something Special B author Hugh Flynn will be here. So come back, would you? Go make your day richer. Go make somebody else's day richer. You've made mine by watching this show, and I love you for it. We'll see you tomorrow, everyone. Bye-bye.